I think I'd rather be killed than have a lifetime of mental abuse. Mental abuse, it's kind of weird. It's like not seen as abuse. It's not seen as criminal, whereas like physical abuse is seen as criminal. And I feel like I would rather have it that mental abuse be seen as criminal and physical abuse not so much. I'd rather have mental abuse to be more, criminal than physical abuse. I mean, physical abuse, I think I'd rather be physically abused because you can kind of get over that. You could, obviously it messes with your mind, but when you have somebody mentally abusing you day in and day out, it does a lot of very bad things. I mean, it demoralizes you. It takes your spirit away. It makes you sad. It makes you angry. It makes you, make irrational decisions. It makes you have irrational behavior, because when your mind is not right, then you're doing all these other types of things that aren't good for your life. You're not focused. You're not strong mentally. Basically, it breaks you. You're like you have been broken. If it's just on the daily, you're constantly nonstop with this mental abuse, and it's just sad that mental abuse is not criminal. And people get away with that, and people understand that, and they use it to their advantage. I mean, people all the time, they are very passive aggressive. They can do things to you, and that's very mean, but it's not physically hurting you, so it's not seen as criminal. It's not seen as something bad. So people do it more and more, because in our society, when you physically hurt someone, you can get in trouble. So if somebody hurts you mentally and you hit them, or you beat them up for physically for mentally trying to abuse you, you're the one that's going to go to jail, not the person who was mentally abusing you. And people understand that, and that's why our society is kind of shit, because people purposely do this, purposely try to get under other people's skin, and then when you retaliate, it's like they look at you like you're the bad person. And it's like it shouldn't be that way. The bad person is the person who initiated the conflict. And if somebody does some kind of mean, passive-aggressive thing to people, there should be some kind of repercussion. They should be able to defend. People should be able to defend themselves. And I think we're kind of going in that direction now. Because if society collapses, or if it becomes kind of like the Wild West, then people are going to learn real quick that if you are passive aggressive, if you attack somebody mentally, then you are going to be attacked physically. I mean, not me, obviously. I'm a Christian man. I turn the other cheek, but for the most part, like a collapse or something like that might be good in that regard. Because there's going to be a lot less people who take advantage of the fact that they could like be passive aggressive and do these mental games and not get beat up for it. So I think that's, if everything goes downhill like people are saying it is, I think that's going to kind of go away. So that's, I guess, kind of one positive to the whole situation. But yeah, when you're like I said, it's not considered criminal. So the news, the government, these corporations, they've been doing all these mental games, all these things for years. And right now we're in the crux of it. It's like so blatant now, and it's so over the top, and it's so aggressive with their mental attacks. It's like before, when they would hurt people, they would physically hurt people. Back in the day, it was all about, if you didn't like someone, you physically hurt them. If, someone spoke out against the government, you physically hurt them. If you don't believe in a certain religion, you physically hurt them. Now, I'm sure they do that, but for the most part, it has turned from physical abuse to mental abuse. And we've been mentally abused in these Western countries for a very long time. And it's not getting any better. It's getting worse, actually. And all these lies, all this gaslighting, if you're not sure what gaslighting is, it's basically messing with people's minds to make them think that they're crazy. It's like if you have a group of people and they're all in on it except one person, and one person comes in and there's a big clock up there that says noon, and that one person that's not in on it says, hey, it's noon, and everybody's like, no, it's 1 o'clock, no, it's 1 o'clock. That is a form of gaslighting, because you're trying to trick this. It's manipulation. You're manipulating this person to think a certain way. It's like abusers, physical, mental abusers, like men and women who you know, tell their partner, oh, you're ugly, nobody's ever going to want you, but your family doesn't like you, blah, blah, blah. And they hear this day in and day out, even though they themselves know that that's not true. Eventually, over time, gaslighting makes people think something that's not true. And that is what's going on right now, like to a crazy extent, with the whole past 2.5 years and all this that's going on. And saying that, oh, you know, you're going to die if you go out there, if you get next to people, if you let people breathe on you, if you hug your family member, you're going to kill your grandma, blah, 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 blah. Like, all this is all mental abuse. And they can be, I feel like they can be prosecuted, because it led to a lot of, it's leading to a lot of deaths. It led to a lot of deaths. But it's causing people to act irrational and have irrational behavior. And I mean, me, myself, I made a rash decision and bought some land in Palmdale in the middle of the freaking desert, because I thought I was going to go live over there and get away from the city. And it was a rash decision, because I saw all this stuff coming out, like, oh, there's going to be riots, you know, and they're coming out with these mandates and all these different things. And I was like, man, I need to get some land somewhere else. And that's what I did. But anyway, my point is, I think physical abuse is not as bad as mental abuse. And I feel like people don't see, have been conditioned to not see that mental abuse is not as bad as physical abuse. There has been no, like, it hasn't been taught to people. It hasn't been a focus of the country, the government, the world. I think it should have been a focus. It should be a focus. It should be a very strong focus, that people understand that mental abuse is worse than physical abuse. Okay, not all the time, obviously, if you're incapacitated because physical abuse, but I mean, like, you know, just getting beat up to where you can still move, you can still, you know, talk, you can still live, you're not like permanently damaged. I'd rather have that than to be mentally abused the rest of my life. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, and people don't see it. You know, they've kept things from us for our entire lives. They didn't educate us the way we should have been educated. They educated us in a way that helps them, and not understanding this has led to a lot more damage. But I do think things will change. Hopefully, I mean, even in a day-to-day with people-to-people basis, I think it'll change. There's going to be, if, you know, things go really bad downhill, you know, there's going to be a lot more road rage. There's going to be a lot more retaliation for people who are very passive-aggressive, who mentally abuse others. Let me know what you guys think, though. Would you rather, like, get beat up or killed than, like, endure a lifetime of mental abuse, like, on the daily, just being mentally abused? Like just punch me in the face, you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to tell me all these lies and gaslight me and do all these things. Just punch me in the face and let's get it over with, and I can go on about my day, and I don't have to, you know, change my behavior or be you know, damaged mentally. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think it's better? Which one do you guys think is better? Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.